Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Animesh Tandon. I'm a pediatric cardiologist at UT Southwestern and Children's Medical Center, Dallas. I actually met Dr. Randall at a Health Wildcatters meeting in August. And as soon as I heard about their device, I thought, hey, this would be great for our patients. So a number of our patients in the postoperative period have invasive lines and things like that that are used to measure venous saturation. And I thought that maybe if we use the Noninvasix device to non-invasively look at venous saturation, that could help potentially reduce the amount of time that we have to keep these invasive lines in, so reduce their clot risk, reduce infection risk, and things like that. So to that end, Noninvasix and our team of pediatric cardiologists at Children's are working on trying to put together an IRB-approved study to see how this might work in our population. But I think Dr. Randall's going to tell you a little bit more about how they might use it in a variety of populations. And as you know, Noninvasix was recently awarded a finalist in the Cleveland Clinic Innovations, and they'll be at the HIT Lab in New York in not too long. So here to tell you more about Noninvasix, Graham Randall.
Thank you, Dr. Tandon. Good afternoon. I'm Graham Randall, CEO of Noninvasix. If you have children, then this is probably a familiar scene to you. The fetal heart rate monitor, which is the device that's strapped around the mother's belly, is a 40-year-old technology that is still essentially the only device, the only tool that obstetricians have to assess the well-being of a baby during labor. What they don't tell you is that it has an 89% false positive rate. 9 times out of 10, when an obstetrician orders an emergency C-section, he or she pulls out a healthy pink baby. 9 times out of 10. Now, this doesn't seem so bad, right? Better safe than sorry. But this adds up to over $5 billion in unnecessary healthcare costs, and sadly, over 100 new mothers will lose their life in an unnecessary procedure. So why is this? Well, obstetricians order C-sections when they're worried about fetal distress. In particular, they're worried about the amount of oxygen that's getting to the baby's brain. Brain hypoxia, or the lack of oxygen getting to the baby's brain, is a cause of 23% of neonatal death. That's second only to prematurity. 31% of the survivors face severe and lifelong disability, including mental retardation, cerebral palsy, and epilepsy. And it's the 9th most expensive hospital condition, costing on average $28,000 and requiring 16 days in the NICU. So if obstetricians are worried about brain oxygenation, why don't they have a tool that'll measure it? Noninvasix has developed a new technology that's going to revolutionize obstetrics by allowing the obstetrician to directly, accurately, and non-invasively measure the oxygenation of the baby's brain during active labor. The concept is simple. It works like a stethoscope. It's held between the OB's fingers. It's inserted transvaginally during birth, allowing them to take a reading right off the top of the baby's head. There's a single number that comes out, a saturation, 71% in the picture, and a trend line. The technology was developed with over $6 million in DoD and NIH funding at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston. It's been proven in animal and human testing, including in the labor and delivery room. We have 6 issued patents, and we have 6 additional patent applications pending, and we have the exclusive worldwide license from the University of Texas. So tissue oximetry is ubiquitous in the hospital today. When you go to see your general practitioner, he slaps on a blood pressure cuff and a pulse oximeter onto your finger. But pulse oximetry isn't useful in all cases. And the areas where pulse oximetry is deficient, it's actually a very large market opportunity, nearly $5 billion in the United States. We're starting in pediatrics with fetal monitoring, and then in the NICU, and as Dr. Tandon mentioned, in cardiac surgery. Then we can expand this technology to to be used in traumatic brain injury and stroke and cardiac surgery patients. Then we can expand out to there to a central venous oximetry, where we will be trying to diagnose shock and sepsis. Ultimately, what we think is the biggest market opportunity is total hemoglobin monitoring. The total hemoglobin blood test is the most commonly ordered blood test today. We can do it non-invasively and continuously. We think this has the potential to be the next vital sign. Our team is experienced. Noninvasix is the third company that I've run as CEO. I have a PhD in molecular biophysics from Baylor College of Medicine and my MBA from Rice. Our founders and inventors, Dr. Pro and Dr. Senilev, are both professors at UTMB. Dr. Pro is the chair of anesthesiology, and Dr. Senilev is a professor in bioengineering. Where are we today? We've raised $2 million in seed funding. We've built 3 generations of clinical prototypes, which we have tested in sheep, adults, neonates, and fetuses. We have submitted our 510(k) pre-sub to the FDA, and we're actually meeting with them for the first time next week. And we have issued IP, which we're aggressively managing our portfolio. Where are we going? We're currently raising a Series A of $3.75 million to build the manufacturing prototype, which is a device we'll take to the FDA for clinical trials and 510(k) clearance, and then ultimately to launch. Our exit strategy, we would expect to be acquired by one of the major patient monitoring and tissue oximetry companies like Medtronic, Masimo, Space Labs, and it's a comparable Somanetics sold to Covidien in 2010 for $250 million, which was 5 times revenues. Thank you very much for your time. I look forward to speaking with each of you at the happy hour afterwards. Thank you.